After I left Miller's Crossing, I thought I could leave the Watcher behind. I moved back to the city, renting a small apartment and trying to put the past behind me. Life returned to normal, or at least as normal as life could be after such an ordeal. But the knocking never truly left me. It would come sporadically, always at night, always when I was alone. Months passed, and I started to believe it was all in my head. I even started seeing a therapist who assured me that trauma could manifest in strange ways. I was beginning to feel more at ease, starting to think that maybe, just maybe, I could move on. Then, one evening, I received a package in the mail. There was no return address, just my name written in a neat, old-fashioned script. I hesitated before opening it, a sense of dread creeping over me. Inside the package was an old photograph of my grandmother standing in front of the house in Miller's Crossing, holding a baby. I recognized the baby as myself. Attached to the photo was a note. "You can't escape what's in your blood." I dropped the photo and stepped back, my mind racing. How could someone know about the Watcher? My grandmother never spoke of it to anyone, and I had kept my own experiences to myself. That night, the knocking returned, louder and more persistent than ever. It seemed to come from all around me, echoing through the apartment. I tried to ignore it, to convince myself it was just my imagination. But the sound was unmistakable. Then came the growling. I couldn't stay in my apartment. Grabbing only my keys and my phone, I fled, driving aimlessly through the city until I ended up at a 24-hour diner. I sat there, drinking coffee, trying to calm my nerves, until the sun came up. Over the next few days, I researched everything I could about the Watcher. I dug through old town records, folklore websites, and anything that might give me a clue. One night, deep in an obscure forum, I found a post from someone in a neighboring town who described a similar entity. A tall, thin figure that knocked and growled, tormenting their family for generations. Desperate, I contacted the poster, a woman named Evelyn. We met at a small cafe on the outskirts of town. She looked tired, as if she hadn't slept in years. She listened as I recounted my experiences, nodding along as if she'd heard it all before. "You're not the first," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "The Watcher is an ancient entity, tied to certain bloodlines. Once it finds you, it never truly leaves." "Is there any way to stop it?" I asked, my voice trembling. "There are ways to keep it at bay," she replied. "Symbols, rituals, protections passed down through the generations. But once it's attached to your bloodline, it will always come back." Evelyn showed me a series of protective symbols and explained a ritual that her family used to keep the Watcher at a distance. I thanked her and left, feeling a mixture of hope and fear. That night I performed the ritual and placed the symbols around my apartment. The knocking didn't come, and for the first time in months, I slept peacefully, but peace was fleeting. A week later, I found a new note on my kitchen table. "You can't hide forever." I realized then that I couldn't run from the Watcher. It would always find me, no matter where I went or what I did. My only hope was to learn more, to find a way to break the curse that had haunted my family for generations. And so, I returned to Miller's Crossing, to the old Victorian house, and the secrets it held. I had to face the Watcher head on, to uncover the truth that my grandmother had hidden so well. Because if I didn't, I knew I would never be free. It's that time of year again, where the darkness feels that much darker, and every creak and groan of your house feels that slight bit more unsettling. It's that time of year where your sense of fear and dread creeps more deeply upon you, and your fears are suddenly heightened. But there's no need to fear. We have the perfect solution for you. Spooktober 2024 is once again sponsored by VENATOS. As you all know by now, VENATOS offers the topmost quality in gaming equipment, and with their top-rated customer service, you won't have any buyer's remorse nightmares, even if you live on Elm Street. You can avoid the terror of added fees, because VENATOS ships free to the United States, Canada, and hell. Well, Hell, Michigan, that is. What are you waiting for? Go to VENATOS.com today. Still scared? How about you use code PRESSSTARTMOM at checkout and save an additional 10% off your order? That should keep the monsters at bay. For now.